Hey everyone, Dakota Frandsen here, specialist of the strange. I just wanted to come with you real quick about potentially doing your own podcast. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? Maybe you got a lot of questions like, how do I record? How do I get my show into all these apps that are out there? How can I make money? There are probably several thousand other questions about getting this show off the ground that you have been formulating and communicating in your mind. And I'm here to tell you that there is a very simple answer to this. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing your show. And best of all, it is 100% free. Get all the perks from the other guys without having to pay for subscription fees. And best of all, it is easy. And in fact, Anchor can match you up with sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast right now, which means you can get paid doing what you love. Isn't that the fucking dream, my friends? In fact, that's actually what I'm trying to do right now by reading this ad for you. It is amazing. It helps ease the process for guests, putting on music, whatever you want to do. So if you want to start your podcast, make some money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and several other fabulous people already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. And I cannot wait to hear you on the air. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dakota Frandsen, and welcome to Specialists of the Strange radio show. This episode is actually going to be a little different from most. Due to some personal obligations, I have not been able to fully complete this week's intended episode, which would go into the lore and the truth behind the Chupacabra. Chupacabra. Starting to slur my words. That's disturbing. Anyway, so, being that is the case, I was initially just going to skip over filming an episode for this week. However, I do have some news I do want to share with you all that will really, how should I put this? Step up our game. We have things coming our way that will elevate the search for answers in the unknown. It will expand our influence, make this very show available on more outlets, and give you more ways to interact. To start, let me announce news about our show right here, right now. I did mention that there was going to be new ways for you to interact and new ways for you to listen in. So, you interested? Yeah, you're interested, otherwise you wouldn't still be listening to me ramble on about this type of stuff. Specialists of the Strange radio show and more potential apps are coming to Amazon Alexa devices. That's right. We are now being integrated into Amazon Alexa. The skills in order to do this and interact and get more news from yours truly will be available here in a couple days. All you need to do is simply look out for my logo. All the skills published by me in relation to this operation will all share the same icon. In order to get access to new episodes of this very radio show, all you have to do is add Dakota Frandsen's show. And also, we are looking into updating flash briefings to where you can get quick updates and little motivational bits from me on a weekly basis to see what I have got going on as you start your day. It'll be interesting to see how we can pull this off. Now, next item on the list. Those of you who've been following me long enough may know that I have spent some time traveling abroad, and I really can't share too many details about these possible operations. But what I can tell you is that they are in the very, very, very early stages, so it's probably not even wise of me to even say anything to my family members in case something gets shot down like it sometimes does and doesn't happen. But nevertheless, I'm pretty confident in at least one of these. A possible trip to Chile and Antarctica is currently in the works. The objectives for this expedition are not necessarily paranormal based. However, because I am going to be in the area, I'm going to try to do it like I did with the Loch Ness Monster. Try to conveniently pass by to see if I can see something. It's not the first time paranormal investigations have actually been done on the icy continent. But it's for the purpose of exploration. And the main goal behind this expedition would actually to measure possible pollution levels down there. to see if all the shit we've thrown into the oceans and all that managed to make it to Antarctica by now. It will be a month-long trip. We're going to spend a couple weeks in Chile for training. Then we're going to be actually on Antarctica for a couple more weeks to collect samples. Then when we get back, we'll spend a little bit more time in Chile just to collect everything, put together our reports, and we move on from there. Now, the next trip won't happen until at least 2021. But I have been invited to participate in helping preserve human history of Earth in space. There's a program that is gathering information, historical data, DNA samples from various creatures around the world. And the main goal behind this is that, well, we're going to set up arcs in space. Think of it as time capsules. But instead of, tossing in the newspaper, a few drawings, maybe a couple letters, we're going to send in human history. From what I've observed of these plans, there's plans to get it on the moon. There's going to be a satellite network. And the furthest of ambitions will involve getting this information and data on Mars. Naturally, this project will take several years, but it will help expand influence. It will also help gain my standing within the mainstream scientific community. And also, I do have a few other experiments in mind that will require me to live out the remainder of my natural lifespan. I don't want to go too far into details behind those. No, this is not a very, very weird suicide attempt. Even though something could go wrong and people who are involved could end up dead if something goes wrong. But that's a risk we have to take in order to help achieve this goal. The purpose behind it is to, well, let's be honest. Things aren't exactly looking good. Studies of several channels have noted that there seems to be an increase in violent, negative, and harmful influences in our world. And this project is meant to help preserve Earth's history in the event of a massive natural disaster. Will I be actually going into space? Unfortunately not. I'm helping with the DNA samples, and because I am 6'7", roughly 5 inches taller than what most spacecraft today are able to handle, it's highly unlikely I'll be able to actually physically go into space, so this is going to be my next closest opportunity. I have actually been in talks for quite some time now in order to get involved with more space projects like this since, well, roughly a couple years after I went public with researching the paranormal. And I've actually been lucky enough to meet a few people that have helped me develop those connections and point me in the right direction to be able to set up this type of thing. More details about what I plan on for those post-mortem experiments, as well as more details about the launch and whether or not I get to go play with penguins, will all be coming soon. Like I said, everything's still in the very, very, very early stages. So far, the only people I've told are close friends, family, and my lucky lady. Alright, what else is there? Yes. For those of you who've heard that I made an appearance on National Geographic, and if you have subscribed to Hulu, if you haven't seen it yet, your chance to be able to watch the program is coming. On Tuesday, October 15th, Drain the Oceans is going to add the Secrets of Loch Ness episode I participated in to Hulu, and you'll be able to watch it from there. You can also buy the episode through Amazon, Google Play, Vudu, whatever service you like to add, whatever services you prefer. I'm not just promoting it just because I'm on it, but there's some very interesting points about the lore surrounding Loch Ness. No, it doesn't go into the DNA experiments and the recent findings that indicate that Nessie might actually be just one big-ass eel. And yes, eels can get that big. Technically, any life form can get that big if the right conditions are met. But there's a lot of technicalities, a lot of severe mutations that would have to take place, and if we were to see anything sudden like that, we're going to have serious problems. Alright, what else is there? Alexa, Antarctica, going to the moon, drain the oceans. I think that's it, actually. If you are still interested in the Chupacabra episode, please do tune in next week on the 18th. Hopefully, nothing goes wrong with getting things set up on Alexa so you can listen in through her. You can also listen to episodes of my podcast through Google Home and Siri and Cortana devices if you aren't interested. However, you might have to subscribe to different apps in order to do so. Certain aspects of my syndication process, they just weren't working out, so I had to redo a whole bunch of crap. I'm not happy about that fact, but it is what it is. I'll try to fix up everything so you can listen in more. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Feel free to ask me any questions you might have. October is here and the weather's starting to hit pretty hard. In my area, it hasn't exactly been so bad. We had a couple windstorms and some real bad frost, but that's been the majority of it. It tried to snow yesterday, but it was huffing and puffing, but nothing substantial enough to really blow your house down. If it did, then you obviously got bigger problems. But there is word of a massive snowstorm getting ready to hit the Midwest. I do hope those of you who, if it does come, I do hope that those of you who are in the path of the storm manage to stay warm. Be kind to one another, ladies and gentlemen. This is also the time of year where depression and several of our cultural standings tend to aggravate mental illness issues. Be sure to reach out to all your loved ones. Even if it's just a random text out of the blue to ask them how they're doing. Show kindness to one another. That's all it takes to really potentially save a life. Something I wish a lot more people would do. As we get closer to Halloween, we're going to have more content available. Looks like Halloween's actually on a Thursday this year. So those of you who have small kids and are in the areas that are trying to change the time of Halloween, yeah, I know you're probably getting a lot of slack from quite a few people, but I understand your concerns about making sure your kids aren't dead tired for when they need to get to school. And what the hell? Bailey? Hold on a sec. Hell? I didn't bring any of my gear. Damn it! I can't trust. Sorry. I've been dog sitting for some relatives, and thought I just saw one of our older dogs poke his head around. Unfortunately, I have other dogs here. But two of them are currently cocooned in blankets. And one is so deaf and blind he can barely see anything that's in front of his fucking nose. Just old age. Nothing really wrong with him. So they're not exactly the best candidates for this type of work. Anyway, also, I do have kind of a new funding source. However, I should say this. There might be further delays on future episodes, especially so the Strange radio show. I am most likely going to need to head into the dentist. For those of you who don't realize, I'm only 23 and I'm kind of having problems with my wisdom teeth, so might have to finally go in and just get them yanked. Was going to do it sooner, but I got stuck into freaking house sitting. You know how that is. But anyway, everything's alright. So be sure to follow me on all my social media pages. There will be a link in the description that will take you to listings. That will also take you to how to find new merchandise, affiliate programs, as well as helpful hotlines and websites for those of you who may be dealing with suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety, several other mental illnesses. I have done my best to try to include an international directory because I know that some of you who listen to this show aren't exactly from my neck of the woods. So I try to make sure everybody feels included. So anyway, that's all I have for today, ladies and gentlemen. I shall see you next time. This was just a news update. Because of the integration with Alexa, you might see more episodes be posted here that are similar to my video newsletters. Maybe they'll be like little journals. I will have to report on something later on because I do have a potential case involving another ghost hunting team who believes one of their members may have been possessed. And the reason why they say this is after the investigation they've conducted, they tried out a few experiments, and suddenly, after this guy started acting like he was not feeling well, they tried to splash him with a little bit of holy water to try to protect him from anything that might have been at the location, and the holy water boiled on his skin. I've asked the team to conduct a few other experiments to test the potential. I don't think that And the talking dog is the reason why I don't do more shows when I'm out here. What was I just saying? Yeah. This guy, the holy water's boiling on him. Now, if my findings on possession are anywhere close to correct, this could be a major indicator of something serious. However, I don't think it's anything high level. I have actually crossed paths with demons identified in the Keys of Solomon and quite a few other grimoires, and they tried to kick my ass, but I beat them down harder. I'm pretty sure this is a lower level demon that reacts to mental illnesses, distress, and things of that nature. In order to remove these things, we're going to perform a minor cleansing. And we also have to identify the source of the stressors and get this guy to admit he needs help. Get him to reach out, try to better his mentality. Otherwise, more problems may arise and something stronger may come along. So be sure to keep this, gentlemen, in your thoughts. That's all I have for today. I'll see you next time.